Yeah. NBA Straya, how are you going? It is NBA Straya. It's Monday, December 9, all day. I'm not Jonathan Davis. I'm your host, James Clements. You can also see my ugly mug on the panel, the official NBL Supercoach show, and of course the AFL Today show, NFL Australia, and whatever else, that we do. What else? I'm here in Larry Armour Studios, battling a cold and the after effects of a very big week. I'll get into that in a second. But we do have some awesome hoops gear to get into, don't we? We've got weekend winners and losers. We've got Jokic just stomping dudes. Just a weekend masterclass. We had injury carnage as well. Lots of stuff to cover. And just what is up with the Pacers? I don't know. We're going to wrap all the games from the weekend. We've got That's Not an iPhone, mate. No, mate. Spud of the night. Better than Lonzo Ball. There are some the unpopular opinion of the day, and Outback Take. Yes, we were serving up a 5-grill take. There is an Andrew Gay's Great Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence as well. And a huge set of picks and previews for tomorrow's single game. That's right, there's one game tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. We've done a great job. Big week ahead, though, because we've got the NBA Cup. So, strap in. Big show, fun show. Let's get into it. Episode 1171 of NBA Straya. Alert! Go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya. And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shark attack.
You better watch out for the your old gym attack. I'll tell you what. Oh, Lord. So after being out, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week, and then having the Squid's birthday yesterday, hit a big wall and have come down with some sort of just maliciously annoying cold. So hopefully I'm not too nasally for you out there. But I'll tell you what, standing and going around at a music festival for an entire day on Friday, seeing 311 was awesome. I think, I saw them on Wednesday as well as Frank Turner on Tuesday. Seeing Frank again was very cool. But all the other bands that I managed to catch, like Mastodon, for an hour-long set. They did their side show last Wednesday as well in Melbourne. So instead of, I've already seen Mastodon a bunch. They're one of my favorite bands. It was rad that they played for an hour. Sum 41 had pulled out, so everyone sort of got moved around a little bit. It was weird seeing Jet. Gaslight Anthem, as it was sort of raining a little bit. That was a bit weird. Last time I saw Gaslight Anthem in the rain, Brian cracked it at the crowd. It was real bad. Who else was good? L7 was fun. How cool was that? Violent Femmes was surprisingly excellent. I remember seeing them play Offshore 2000 or whatever the hell it was. Or a Falls in 99 or something. Oh, dude. Hey, James, how old are you? Real fucking old. I did also go to a million festivals when I was a young tucker. But anyway, going to this one, it was pretty crazy. And then finishing off with Korn was just unreal. It was so gnarly. Oh, God. Just watching old ass Jonathan Davis wandering around his belly in his tracksuit suit. It was unreal. What a world. Singlet and tracky dacks. He's living his best life. It's also one of those ones you go, yeah, Korn have got some bangers. They've also got some fucking horrible songs. Anyway, let's start today's show the way we start every show here. Apparently we're just Jim bemoaning about how old he is. I'll tell you what. Nah, it's not the Daily Whip round, bro. Oh, he hasn't plugged in that thing. Plug in the thing, Jim. It didn't work properly. Got to plug it in proper. Here we go. Oh, there we go. One more time. One more time. Come on. There we go. We got there in the end. Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Squid's birthday went down pretty well. He got a little bit sunburnt. I got a little bit sunburnt. Just, a bit draining, isn't it? organizing all that sort of stuff, having that all in a, 5-day period, chaos. But yeah, so now I've got a cold, it sucks. But not as much as it sucks for these teams like the Orlando Magic. So we talked about injury carnage at the top. Franz, Wagner, hello. Playing at a bloody all-NBA level, absolutely smashing it, and is out for at least a month with a torn oblique. What? That's the exact same bloody thing that the Orlando Magic lost to, like, for a 6 to 8 week period about 6 weeks ago. That sucks. Are the Magic cursed? Yeah, nah. I think from Grant Hill's ankles to T-Mac to Dwight Howard just being Dwight Howard. Yes, I think they might be. This is also a franchise that is 100% kissed on the dick because they keep getting the first pick like every time. It's awesome. Well, kind of. Yeah. They got Dwight. They ended up with, remember how they had Markel Fultz? They didn't obviously draft him, but still, Shaq is a pretty big one. Then they land the Chris Webber pick. They trade that for a Penny Hardaway. But anyway, good times, great memories. Way to go, Orlando. That sucks, though. Franz was playing awesome. The Magic were really fun. And they still managed to win today. We'll get to that in the wraps. And then the other sort of big, lanky wing that is out indefinitely is Brandon Spindles Ingram. This sucks for the Pelicans. It's like, hey, we're getting healthy. Oh, God. He's out with a significant, I love it when they use the phrase significant low left ankle sprain is out indefinitely. What grade do you think that is? My guess would be 3. I think it's a pretty bad one because they keep saying extended time, imaging confirmed that it was a high grade low left ankle sprain. So high grade would be, I assume, grade 3. And basically the Pelicans like, yeah, we've got no timetable on this one. It's all going to be treatment and rehab and how he responds. You're like, oh, that's a bit rough, isn't it? It's like, yes, it's exceptionally rough. Outside of that, so they're the two big ones in terms of news. The other cool bit was that at least Joel Embiid came back. So that's good injury news, I guess. Came back and played against the Bulls, was very good again. And then because of this weird scheduling where we've got the NBA Cup in the middle of this week, he doesn't have to play again until Friday. So probably a good time to get a game under his belt, see how his knee actually responds, and away you go. LeBron actually sat this one out as well today, where the Lakers have just beaten the absolute hell out of the Blazers. The Lakers beat the hell out of the Blazers, yeah. They beat the Blue Blazers out of them, Jim, I'll tell you what. Yeah, that's right. And yeah, pretty crazy. And then the toughest one today for me was watching Mobley. He sprained his ankle against the Heat today after a career high the other night, 41. And me having gone, oh, I love the Cavs in the Heat. And then he goes out and they just fell apart. Bloody hell. Killing me. And that's about it. Apart from Draymond getting benched, but we'll talk about that. He's fine with it. He's still a dickhead, but anyway. Let's do some quick game wraps from the weekend. Game wraps. So, cast your mind back to Saturday. It's a long time ago, I know. I was a mess. I think the problem I had with the festival is that I'm just like walking and drinking and standing the entire time. I sat down to eat like a couple of times and we're sort of chilling out. It's like, but otherwise, just a lot of walking. And my legs and my back were just sore. And then, that was the other thing yesterday. We built the squids bunk beds. So me and the old man and old mate, she helped. She management consulted all the way. Just do this, do that. It's like, okay. And the bunk bed's awesome. But the thing is, I woke up again this morning going, Jesus. You're using the drill, you're lifting shit, building stuff, and you just like... Anyway, the bunk beds look awesome. Your mate Jim's just a bit rooted. So Orlando lost in Philly, and I sort of picked that one on Saturday. And then without Franz, the Magic men turned around and beat the bloody Suns today. But anyway, good job by Philly there. The Lakers and Atlanta played an awesome game, 132-134. Atlanta winning overtime. Big win for the Hawks. The Bucks and Boston played a radical game too. This was a really, really fun game. 111, Boston win at 105. Milwaukee. Chris Middleton came back and Milwaukee gave up the ghost late in the fourth quarter. Interesting one. Indy beat Chicago 132-123. Who does that say more about, do you reckon? Probably how bad Chicago are. Just saying. We'll talk about them all in later. Sacramento beat the Sands hell out of the Spurs. Minnesota ran roughshod over the Golden State Warriors 107-90. And the Utah Jazz, that's right, the Utah Jazz, it's a soft J. The same exact team that today were beaten by 44 points by the Sacramento Kings. They themselves back on Saturday beat the Portland Trailblazers by 42. 141-99. What's going on? Chaos. And then Sunday we had Cleveland. Beat Charlotte 116-102. Very nice. That was the big Mobley game. And Denver lost to Washington. What? Hang on. Jim, say that again. Denver lost to Washington?
This is horrible. There's no other way to put it.
What the hell was that?
What was that? What the hell was that?
On top of that, Nikola Jokic had a career-high 56 points, and they lost to Washington that had had 2 wins all year.
What was that? What the hell was that?
Seriously, 2 wins all year. I don't know what to I don't know what to do anymore.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I just don't know.
Jokic has 56, a career high. They lose to Washington. Nothing makes sense. It's cats and dogs in the street. I don't know. Anyway, chaos reigns. Jordan Poole went off and he tried out his new celebration of drowning in the pool. He might be drowning in his own idiocy, if you ask me. The Thunder beat the Pels 119-109. Smashed them, bro. And the Detroit Pistons beat the New York Knickerbockers of New York City in New York 120-111 because Kate Cunningham is him. I love that. Huge win for Dallas in Toronto 125-118. Luka is back and firing. And Memphis turned around. And with Boston on a back-to-back, the Grizzlies beat the Celtics in Boston. Ja goes bang. He's out there dunking. That was pretty cool. And Boston just could not hang with them, especially early. It's like they were asleep and they didn't know what was going on. Chaos gear. And then late yesterday, Miami beat Phoenix 121-111. So the Suns, I'll tell you what, they're going to pop up in weekend winners and losers a bit because they just had a winless Florida trip. Never good. And then we had 12 games today, which is just really smart scheduling by the NBA because it's like, we don't want to have any games on Thanksgiving or go up against like the NFL when it's like Thursday nights and stuff. Oh, but for football Sunday, let's just put 12 games on it. Idiots. Philly smashed Chicago 108-100 in Chicago. The Bucks outlasted Brooklyn 118-113. The Hornets beat the Pacers 113-109. Brandon Spindles Miller. Oh, yeah. 141-111. The Nuggets beat the Hawks. That was my favorite pick of the day. After losing to Washington, I'm like, they're going to kill the Hawks. And they did. Dyson Daniels was really good in that one, though. Cleveland. Lose Mobley. And Tyler, there goes my hero, one spare. So the Heat beat Cleveland 122-113. Chaos. The Magic Men, Jalen Suggs went off his bloody rocker to get by the Suns in this one. Magic win it 115-110 over the Suns, who had Booker and Beal, but are bad. They're just bad. The Grizzlies kept up their winning ways on a road back-to-back. They go to Washington, smashed them 141-112. The Pelicans are still the Pelicans. That's right, 116-121. Gross winners against the Spurs, losers against the Spurs. They absolutely cooked at the Pelicans. It was horrible. There's no other way to put it, I'll tell you.
This is horrible. There's no other way to put it.
No, there is not. And then, what else? We had Minnesota. Well, what about that horrible Utah-Sacramento game? That was 141-97. So Sacramento just turned on the tap of scoring and smashed a couple of teams. Utah beat the Blazers by 42, then turned around and get beaten by 44. That's a big swing. That's an 86-point swing. Jesus. What else? We had the Clippers in Houston, the Chris Paul Bowl. I love the Rockets in this, and they proved me right. Jalen Green was awesome. 117-106 in that. Clippers just did not have quite enough punch. Just beset with injuries. And just couldn't quite hang with them, could they? It was pretty crazy, actually. You're sort of watching the Clippers. No James Harden. You're like, oh, yeah, that's just it's not going to go well, is it? And it didn't. So the James Harden Bowl without even Harden playing in for the Clippers. And you're like, oh, geez. It's the Chris Paul Bowl as well, I guess. But Jalen Green, 31. Amen Thompson had the 22. And they did this without Fred VanVleet, the fighting VanVleets. And you're like, oh, gosh, that's not bad, man. It's not bad. So, yeah, James Harden had a sore right groin. That's why he's not in there. We just need to check where the Clippers last played and where James Harden last played. Oh, they were at home against Minnesota. They lost that one, yeah. Jeez, he must have done some damage at the club. That's a lot of lap dances. Oh, my groin. Then you've got Portland, Minnesota Golden State was the other one I didn't mention. Weird chaos game. I'm very angry at the Wolves. 106, they lose this 114 because old mate, no mates. Spoiler alert. Anthony Edwards, he talks a lot of shit when you're up, and then you got to fucking back it up. So they beat the Warriors the other day and turn around and just get fucking curb stomped down the stretch here. Just brutal. Don't have so many kids out, man. Just saying. And then finally, the Lakers just end up just pushing the Blazers off to the side, 107-98 without LeBron James. So good stuff. Let's do some weekend winners and losers out of all that, should we?
Oh my God. I won! I won!
Aha! Repeating, today's 10 lottery winner is me. Also, Philadelphia. This is why, as it was all falling apart in Philly, you're like, they haven't had their dudes, for more, until this game. Again, it's also December, December 9. And their three biggest dudes, Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid, had played 6 minutes together against Memphis, and then Paul George hurts his knee, and you're like, oh, great. So they've not had their big three. And then today, they did. Against Chicago, they played 26 minutes. They outscored the Bulls by 14 in that stretch. I mean, it's the Bulls. They play as much defense as the East Keeler under 14s. Actually, they might play more than the Bulls at the moment. But what it meant was that that's 2 wins in the row now for Philly. They're 7-15. And you go, geez, that's pretty bad, but it's not that bad. Why is that, Jim? Well, you see, they've got the same amount of losses so they're currently in 12th. They have the current same amount of losses as the 9th team in the East right now. So they do have essential level loss pegging as a play-in team already. They can turn this around, no worries. But that's kind of it. They're fine. As long as these three dudes are around, everything fits and works around Maxey, Paul George, and Joel Embiid. And you get a nice little week now just to sort of settle it down and come back, and away you go. But you'll be laughing if you're a Sixers fan going, we just had to do that and just win a couple of games, man. And they have. So, yeah, the panic break, they've now won 4 of 5, right? So it's okay. I mean, it's not great because you're still 7-15, but it could be a lot worse. You could be the Pelicans. Other winners, Joel Embiid. He came out, he's like, oh, yeah, look, my knee's sore. It sucks. I'd love to play every minute. It's like, would you? I don't know I think you're just lying. But he had 31 and 12 with 4 assists and 2 blocks. In his return, you're like, geez, that's good. He was also horrible to start this game. Don't get me wrong. He started 0 of 7. You're like, oh, gee, bloody hell. Then he was awesome after that. He shot 13 of 21 after the first quarter. On your Sixers. Other winners, the Miami Heat. They've won 3 on the trot. But their 3 on the trot has been pretty bloody impressive. They've beaten the Lakers, the Suns, and today the Cavs. That's really good. Yes, the Cavs are a little bit limited without Mobley. Mobley gets hurt in that one. And you're like, well, this makes an interesting sort of case for, hang on, Mobley's really bloody good because the Cavs couldn't stop anybody on Miami after that. They were just completely discombobulated. Completely. It was all out the window. Duncan Robinson goes spare. Tyler Hero goes absolutely off his head in that third quarter. Bam's really good. Butts is good. But this is it. This is how Miami get to 12 and 10. You're like, oh, have they won any games? Oh, yeah. And they've just ripped off 3 pretty impressive ones. They beat the Lakers, they beat the Suns, and they beat the Cavs. They're just, if they've got Jimmy Butler, if they've got Bam, if they've got Tyler Hero, and if they've got Duncan Robinson hitting shots, they're wildly dangerous. So, yeah, they're a weekend winner. The Mavs, they've won 7 on the trot. That's pretty impressive. I mean, who they've beaten isn't exactly crazy impressive, but they went to Toronto, which, again, hard place to play. bit of a tough one. And Clay was good. Luka has a 30, 13, and 11. Kyrie had 29. It's like, yeah, if you're going to get, what's that? I'm going to say 79 points between the three of them, you should bloody win. But the Mavs have now won 7 straight. They're 16 and 8. Remember when the Mavs were really struggling and they were at 5-0, 500 basically? Well, they've now won these 7 straight. They beat the Hawks, they beat the Knicks, they beat the Jazz, Blazers, Grizzlies, Wizards, and Raptors. Yes, they should have won most of those games. The thing is, that's 7 straight, and they lost that stupid Heat game in the middle where Spencer Dinwiddie just went, hey, check this out. I'm Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving's like, motherfucker, I'm Kyrie Irving. What are you doing? This is ridiculous. They lose that stupid game, or else it'd be like 12 games straight because they had a 4-game win streak cooking before then. So anyway, the Mavs are good, and I keep bringing this up. They've now got a top 10. Well, their top 10 deep. Their defense has gone top 10 basically the last 10 games, 12 games. And that's the entire thing when it comes to Dallas. If their defense is humming, they win games because their offense is good enough and has a base level of just sheer, we're going to hit a shit ton of shots. Check this out. If their defense is good, they're going to win as well. Memphis, big weekend winners, beat the hell out of Boston, then smoked the Wizards. That's 3 straight wins for them, which I believe now gets them up to, I want to say, 2nd in the West, which is chaotic considering they haven't had Ja for a big swedge of this season. Yeah, they're 17 and 8 and 2nd in the West behind the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've snuck ahead of the Rockets and the Mavs. Not bloody bad. And Ja Morant's back and dunking. He's like, I don't want to dunk anymore. My dunking era is over. And everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, fucking settle down. He's Ja Morant. Smash cut to him doing a sick, hezzy reverse jam on everybody. Very nice. Milwaukee weekend winners prove they can hang with Boston. But Jim, they lost. Yeah, they got Chris Middleton back. They instantly looked a lot crisper on offense. And they've got zero fear of Boston. They probably should have a bit of fear of Boston, but still. They just looked a little bit better. Their defense is still the problem. Boston really kicked into gear in that fourth quarter, and you're like, jeez, they're very good. But then Milwaukee can just sort of build on this, and then they backed it up with a really solid win over Brooklyn today. So good job by them. The Rockets as well. A huge win today for me. Look, staring down the Clippers without Harden, this is a focus game, right? And this, I'm going to talk about Boston in a second as well. Houston just coming in with the eye of the tiger and going, fuck that, let's go. And beating the Clippers was very, very, very impressive. I enjoyed that. Lots. Sacramento are another weekend winner just because they've just spent the entire weekend just scoring nonstop. They're now 12 and 13. They ripped off 140 on the Spurs yesterday and 141 on the Jazz today. So that's pretty good. If you score 281 points across 2 games, I reckon, and again, no math magician, but you're pretty good at basketball sometimes. That was very impressive. Good-ish job, I guess. You're a weekend winner for the Spurs. And then Boston. That was a really great gutsy win over Milwaukee, right? That's the sort of win the champions have. It's like the other team, former champion as well, come in, give you their best shot. They've got one of their dudes back there flying up and down. And you go, that's cute. Check this out. We're going to run over the top of your leg. Really good. And then they sort of had the exact opposite. They lose complete focus. And I talked about focus games just then for the Rockets. And it's the exact opposite of what Boston had against Memphis. You're like, dudes, pay attention. They're like, not on your life, Jim. Memphis, not exactly an offensive juggernaut at times, rang up 60-odd points on them in the first half. You're like, ooh. And then Boston put up a fight, but the Grizzlies were just too good. You're like, that's not great. By the same token, I don't think Boston is stressing out about that. You know what I'm saying? It was 127, 121. You lose on a back-to-back. You get that on the big jobs. Ja Morant had 32, 9, and 9. Jaren Jackson Jr. had 27. Your 3-pointers, they shot 63 pointers in that game. And this is it. It just so much of what is the problem with Boston? It's like that day, their threes didn't drop. They went 18 of 60. They took 60 threes. 60! And they missed a lot of them. Tatum goes 1 of 10. Zinger goes 3 of 10. Oh, I love having the Zinger back.
Extreme Zinger meal.
He goes 3 of 10. You have 2 of 7 for Derek White. 4 of 17 from downtown for Drew Holiday. Yeesh. Yeah, it was just a bit of a horror show. Anyway, let's do some weekend losers, though.
We're not losers. No, you two are winners. Big winners. When I grow up, I want to marry a big winner like you guys.
Shut up. Losers.
Loser.
Loser. Loser.
Loser.
Losers.
Loser.
All right, let's do it. Denver. Yep. But Jim, they turned around and beat Atlanta today by a lot. Yeah, but you still can't lose to Washington. Washington are an up-jump G League team at this point. Poole goes ham. You don't have Jamal Murray. You don't have Aaron Gordon. You don't have the homie Dario Saric. You get 56 points from the Joker. You still can't be losing. What are you doing? On top of that, Orlando. They're losers because they lose Franz Wagner, obviously. Like 17-9, they got a massive win over Phoenix today because Jalen Suggs goes, hang on a second, am I better than Devin Booker and Bradley Beal combined? And Jalen Suggs is in his brain going, yes, you are! You're like, Jesus, okay. But also, they had Goga. Goga goes absolutely nuts down the stretch and basically saves their ass and wins the game for them. But still, it's going to be so hard for the Magic Men to keep their heads above water with Franz now on this overlapping shit injury timetable where even if Paolo comes back in like a couple of weeks, which doesn't entirely seem like, okay, yeah, it's definitely going to happen, like then they lose Franz for at least a month. But we've already sort of talked about how Paolo out 6 to 8 weeks. If Franz ends up at that sort of point as well, suddenly you don't have like a full strength Magic team until the All-Star break, and you're like, oh, they're so fun. Orlando are awesome, and then this just keeps it's the kick in the dick machine, just like one after the other. You're like, dudes, just let them be. It's brutal. Same thing goes for New Orleans. Jeez, and like to be honest, Brandon Spindles Ingram. There's a reason why New Orleans are a massive loser for losing him to injury. Is because they can't trade him. It's just like this could not have come at a worse time. Like the restrictions on trading people basically lift around December 15 for everyone who's signed in the offseason, right? And Spindles Ingram's like, I want out. I'm basically sitting out with like another injury anyway. And then, boom, the door essentially closes on going, well, we'll start all these discussions right now. We can get it done before the All-Star break, no worries. Now he's out for, a month at the very least. He comes back at some point in January, and knowing Spindles Ingram, that balloons out to 6 weeks at least. You don't have Zion anyway. You're on the bottom of the West. You lose to an injury, just wasted Spurs team as well. It's just all around bad juju for this horrible Pelicans team. Like, they are just BAD bad. And it sucks. They just can't get out of their own way. They're 5-20. If it weren't for the historically horrible Wizards, they'd be just like, everybody like, yo, what's up with this Pelicans team? Are they going to do anything? And no. The Spurs, they had lost 3 straight. They got to win today, but this is more on the loser thing because they lose Zach Collins to an injury. Stephon Castle left. Wemby left. He's got like a sore back at the moment. And it felt like the Pelicans had just like passed off the injury bug because they lost like all 3 of those dudes during the game against the Pelicans. You're like, oh God, their shittiness is contagious. It's like COVID. What the fuck, man? And then a couple of them came back, but still not great. Just want to keep an eye on Wemby and his health, just saying. Chicago, they're horrible. They're weekend losers just because they suck. And it's like, oh, well, yeah, they should trade Zach LaVine. It's like, who wants Zach LaVine? They're 10-15. They're horrible. They've lost 2 on the trot. They beat the Spurs and the Nets before that. And like I think just the dispiriting array of losses, like it's bizarre. Like they gave up 108 in the loss to the Sixers today. Embiid just 8. You've got Maxime Paul George, whatever. But it's the loss of the Pacers that really got my go, right? Like it's a Pacers team that's reeling, that can't beat anybody else, and are about to pop up on this list. And they gave up 132 to this Pacers team that hasn't been able to score all year. And they only scored 123 themselves. They're just discombobulated and gross. And also not playing Josh Giddey enough, I feel. Like it's weird. Anyway, Minnesota had beaten the Warriors the other day. They'd won 4 straight. It felt like they, turned a corner, but then they turned the corner and ran into a wall. They got curb stomped by the Warriors down the stretch in this game. Yeah, Steph Curry's back, but at the same time, he's old. Anthony Edwards, if you're a super duper fucking star and not just some, yappy, loudmouth moron with like way too many kids, like, fucking take over. Come on, man. This is what it's meant to be about. If you're going to talk shit, don't get hit. He was talking so much shit the other day when they beat them and then turns around and gets his ass kicked in this. Like, I want to see way more MJ fuck you-ness about Ant-Man before I'm, crowning him just like the fucking next MJ. It's bullshit. Anyway, the Suns. Oh, God, they're horrible. Without KD, they're now 1-9. 11-2 with him. 1-9 without him. They've got a defensive rating that'd be like worst in NBA history. They lose on both they lose both the Florida games against the Heat and Orlando. Their defensive rating with KD is very, very good. Without it, it's crazy that he's like their best scorer and defender. I'm like, he's 34. What are we doing here? He might even be older than that. Like, what are we doing? How old is he's 36? Gee, that's right. He turned 36 like earlier this year. That's crazy. Without KD, they're horrible. And you can't be relying completely on a 36-year-old dude. Look at the Lakers. They're like, well, at least we're going to Anthony Davis. It's like the Suns are like, well, at least we're going to Devin Booker. And Devin Booker's like, dude, I just got eaten up by Jalen Suggs today. Don't look at me. Indy, they look just fucking cooked. They beat Chicago the other day and then turn around and get smashed by the Charlotte Hornets, who had lost 8 straight. And don't have any of their dudes. I think they've lost 3 of their 4 top scorers. And Indy just look absolutely out of sorts. Their vibes are cooked. So, they've lost 5 of 6 now as well. Benny Matherin's back. They don't have Naismith, Nembhard, all that sort of stuff. They are 19th in offensive rating this year. 19th. Last year, they were 2nd. So now it's like 111.7. Last year was 120.5. They got Benny Matherin back. How are they this much worse? It's crazy. They're basically the same on defense, 23rd to 24th. How did the offense just completely just self-combust? Like Tyrese Halliburton just reading his own press clippings, hanging out with Caitlin Clark too much. Like, I don't know. It's fucking stupid. Indy are horrible. And then finally, the NBA weekend losers. So this is a league that's like, no, we don't want to go up against the NFL on Thursdays. And then has 12 games today on a Sunday with 1 game tomorrow that's in Canada. It's like the AFL's running it or something. It's just stupid. Anyway, let's do some performers of the weekend.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
This would probably go to Nikola Jokic, the bloke who scored, 104 points on the weekend? 102. 104. 56, 16, and 8 against Washington. Bloody hell. He shot 22 of 38 from the floor. That's so absurd. And then against the Hawks, who you think might be a pretty good matchup. Again, nope. 17 and 29 from the floor. 48, 14, and 8 on a back-to-back on the road. That's just insane. He's your MVP. It's ridiculous. Tyler, there goes my hero, gets an honorable mention. 19 points in that third quarter. Took the game away from him. Ripped it from them, actually, the Cavs. So 34 points total, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 10 of 19 from the floor, 5 of 9 from 3. LeBron had that very nice 39, 10, and 11 against the Hawks the other day. It did come in a loss, though. Giannis had a good weekend, too. 34, 11, and 4 against Brooklyn after 30, 11, and 1 against the Celtics. Not bad. Ja Morant in against the Celtics as well. He had that sick double clutch jam. 32, 9, and 9. And Mobley had the 41, 10 with 3 blocks. Not bad. Good size. Steph Curry took the game away from the Minnesota Timberwolves at the end of that one. He was unreal. He finished with 30 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 5-11 from downtown. He's a bloody weapon. Oh, no, Jim. It's like, yeah, but still. He was pretty cool. And, yeah, Kevin Huerter went 6 and 9. Nice. From 3 against the Jazz today, which is pretty funny. AD and D'Lo as well. It was pretty funny to sort of watch them. Because D'Lo off the bench at 28 points. And this is like, it's like, hey, check out me going off against a team that's a bit shit. D'Lo's like, check this out, 5 or 10 from downtown, 28 points, 14 assists, I'm a weapon. And then it's against a half-decent team. He's like, fucking see ya. And 30 points, 11 rebounds, 5 blocks for AD today. Not bad. How about Spuds of the weekend?
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Oh, yeah, some big Spuds. 0-10 shooting for Bilal Coulibaly. Woo! Yeesh. That is second worst so far this season, following Dylan Brooks and Marcus Smart. Both going 0 of 11. So Bilal Coulibaly is in silver medal spot so far for sputting it up. Anthony Black went 0 of 5. We had a great 1 of 12 from Jeremiah Grant today as well in that Lakers game. Yeah, he's bad. He's having a horrible year as well, Jeremy Grant. Under the radar because the Blazers are just very, very, very bad. 8 and 16 now. And Jeremy Grant, he had 19 points in that horrible loss to the Yaz. He shot 5-11 before that, 3-10 before that, 6-12 before that, 2 of 6. The inconsistency is chaos with him. It's like pretty funny, but also really bad. So, yeah, not ideal, I'll tell you. What else? We had a few other ones. Were there any? Let's see if there are any other ones today as well. Be pretty fun to see if they've got some good stuff. We had the 0 of 10, 1 of 11 for Marcus Smart, who is, leader in the clubhouse as well, which is pretty crazy. But we also got an 0 of 5 from Isaiah Collier today. We got 0 of 5 from Lindy Waters and Shvi Mihailuk. That's pretty cool. Jeremiah Grant with his 1 of 2. Jalen Wilson, 1 of 8. Lonzo went 1 of 7. Not ideal. But Derek White went 1 of 10. Yeesh. 2 of 10 for Middleton in his return the other day against Boston. 3 of 12 for Shaedon Sharp. Not ideal. 5 of 17 for Kobe White. And that's it. I would very much like to thank, though, we got there in the end. So after a big weekend of seeing a bunch of bands, I was pretty worried. We're getting down to the wire about anybody shooting the magical number, but I would like to thank Zachary Rissachel. They are one of my favorite bands, Jim. And Devin Vassell for going out and shooting. Woo! Chill. Yeah, they shot 3-11, baby. It was great. I'll tell you what, when they played down, oh, jeez, your mate Jim lost it a little bit. Good stuff there. All right, what about old mate? No mates. This guy might need some mates.
Old mate, no 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 mates.
Who's got no mates today? Nikola Jokic. Yeah, I think today and last couple of games were real bad for us. We are going in the wrong direction. I think everybody's fault. In my country, where I'm coming from, after this kind of stretch, you're going to get a little paycheck that is a little bit less than you're worth. So maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe a little motivation that way. Whoa! The joke is going to start docking everybody's pay there in Denver. That's awesome. He's like, he carries Serbian national team to a fucking silver fucking medal. Fucking. The Joker is not happy. And it's like one of the very few times where like Giannis, the Joker, Luka, you're sort of big Euro super duper stars. They don't tend to sort of do the LeBron James passive aggressive just bullshit. It's very much like, it's up to team to put team together. Or like, in my country, fucking who cares, fucking. Like sometimes you got Giannis just like, oh, I'd like to talk to somebody in charge, maybe, please. And you're like, what are you doing, Giannis? He's like, I don't know. Sign my brother. And you're like, okay, good stuff, Giannis. I love Giannis's voice. It's chaos. But still, Jokic is going, fucking, we should pay you less because you made that shit. That is like getting on the team bus and Jokic just walks down the aisle and everyone's like, please don't take my money. Because they know he can just beat them up and take their money, right? And he's just like, I have big brothers. Maybe they fuck you up and take a bunch of your money if you don't play shit. If you don't play well, you play shit, maybe brothers come around and take your money. It's pretty good. Bit of a pantsing of the night. Had a couple of good ones. Amen Thompson just yammed on KPJ today. But my favorite was obviously the Brandon Miller one that was on splits the double team, just yams. Oh, that Statue of Liberty. Siakam just made a massive bid. He's like, no, I'm not going to try to challenge that. Are you kidding? Very smart. Better than Bronny James.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. I tell you what, we had Tyrese Maxey had a triple-double the other day. Speaking of, great draft picks that weren't Lonzo Ball or Bronny James or Ben Simmons, and they're actually, that's another Philly point guard. First triple-double of his career with 25, 11, and 14 against the Bulls today. Not bloody bad. My favorite is probably TJ McConnell. Ripped off a 30.6 assist game. The last two players have 30-plus points, 5-plus assists, 2-plus steals, 2-plus blocks, and shoot 60% from the floor. It's off the bench. It's TJ McConnell and Magic Johnson. That's pretty good company. Just saying. Stephon Castle as well. God, I love it. He had 22 points today for the Spurs. He is absolutely unreal. 5 rebounds, 4 assists. I'm going to keep yelling this until he wins fucking Rookie of the Year. He's been unreal. And Yves Missai. He's been very, very under the radar there because he's on the Pelicans and no one fucking cares about him. 18 points, 14 rebounds, absolute gun. Very much enjoy him. That was fun. It was very, very fun. And all of them better than Bronny James. Even Isaiah Collier. He went 0 of 5. Still better than Bronny James. Johnny Furphy, our man. He had 2 points. It's pretty good for the Pacers. That's better than Bronny James. Just saying. All right, how about... Oh, yes. We haven't done this for a little bit. It's a bit of a magic tweet of the week. We'll find the button, press it, and everybody will love it. Do you reckon it's going to be him talking about football again? Because that's what they sort of tend to do, isn't it? Oh, Magic, he's like, no, I like football. Nice to see the World Series champion and NL MVP Shohei Ohtani with his wife at the Lakers game tonight. Thanks, Magic. It's him retweet. I didn't realize that Magic knew how to retweet somebody, but he did. He retweeted the Lakers and their tweet of saying Showtime, SHO dash time, because he's show high. Yeah, do you get it? Yeah, I got it. Anyway, that's great. And then some other blow-by-blow ones. I enjoyed this. Tyler Hero was blazing hot, hitting 7 threes in the third quarter alone. Thanks, Magic. I'm proud of my Spartans in their blowout victory over Minnesota. It was a team effort and 4 Spartans in double figures. Kohler, Fears, Jr., Carr, and Booker. I really enjoyed the ball movement tonight on offense, finding the open man and the tenacity on defense. Clap emoji at MSU basketball. It's just great. I can't get it out of my brain now that every time I hear Tom Brady commentate an NFL game, that it's basically a Magic Johnson tweet, but commentating. Does my head in. All right, finally, dickhead of the weekend.
Dickhead of the week.
And Draymond. Oh, yeah, look, it's a big sacrifice by me coming off the bench, but look, I've been Johnny Kuminga's biggest fan since day one, and if he has to come on and I come off the bench like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 times, like, it's all good. It's all good. And you just know he wants to punch somebody in the head. He just wants to. Oh, he's such a dickhead. And then, I'll appreciate this bit of Draymond, though. He had this, basically the game-sealing dunk today against the Wolves, and let him know. And I'm like, this is the exact perfect time you should be letting them know, Draymond, because they were talking a lot of shit. Boom. You came out, gave him the old 1-2 Costa Zoo. That's fucking good. Good on you, Draymond. Didn't think I'd be saying that today, but here we are. All right, let's do some yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to
Straya.
NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do it. We've got some good yeah-nahs here. Oh, yeah. Zachy B. I know he's a rookie, but 0 of 10 against Dallas on Friday for Bilal Coulibaly. He's had plenty of chances to prove himself. Time for the Shanghai Sharks. that's pretty brutal because I'm pretty sure Bilal Coulibaly's in his second year, isn't he? Well, I think I think he is. Yeah, 2023. Look, this is the Wizards. I think the biggest problem I have with the Wizards, and like this is kind of like a bigger Wizards question, like Bilal Coulibaly has also had like a lot of chances. He's also only fucking 20. He only just turned 20 as well. Like he's one of the very, very, very youngest players in the NBA. And like it's like one of those things where you look at Josh Giddey and it's like he literally just turned 22. Like let's all just fucking pump the brakes a little bit. So Bilal Coulibaly, he's exactly who the Wizards should just be going, we don't fucking care that you shot 0 of 10, buddy. Just go out there and go hammer and tongs. The biggest problem was he'd also gone 1 of 7 the game before, 2 of 8 the game before that, 1 of 6 the game before that, 3-11 the game before that, and then followed up the 0 of 10 with 2 of 9. So it was a pretty rough showing there for a bit. But then against Memphis today, he wasn't that bad. He had 17, 5 and 4, 6 of 13 shooting. So look, just feed him minutes, feed him experience out there. But the problem is, it's like the rest of that team, and you can have all the young dudes that you want. But unless there's like, this is the problem with having Jordan Poole on this team. It's like, who's going to teach these guys to play the right way? And Jonas Valanciunas is like, not me, fucking, I'm thinking about the bear I hunt. And like, that's why they've got Malcolm Brogdon to settle. But at the same time, Malcolm Brogdon's never been this fucking vociferous leader of men. It's like, oh, he's El Presidente. He's just like, he's got good vibes. It's like, yeah, but all the teams he's been on have been a bit fucking shit. Right? It's a bit of a weird one. And then outside of that, today they, like, the Grizzlies game, they started Bub Carrington, Bilal Coulibaly, Justin Champagny, the other Champagny. And you've sort of just got a mishmash of dudes who are going to get their heads kicked in. And then Poole going, check this out, guys. In 29 minutes, he took 6 shots. Like, do you think this is leadership? It's just fucking, he sucks. So Bilal Coulibaly, it's just not a great environment. The Wizards are just a tire fire this year. And yeah, they should be playing their young dudes like Sar, Bilal, Bub, etc. But they also need like a hint of leadership there. And it's weird that they have sort of tried to do it, but it feels like they tried to do it with the exact wrong dudes like Kuzma, Poole. It's like, hey, I've got a championship. It's like, yeah, but you didn't fucking really go out and win it by yourself, did you? So, bit of a weird one. And Zach B also adds another one. And yeah, something smells in Indy. This team is proper cooked. Yeah. I hate this Indy team this year. I keep breaking it down, right? And talking about how the defense is just basically as shit as it ever was. But now the offense is also shit. That's bad. And if you look at just like Halliburton's road home splits, you're just like, that's an easy fucking just, what the fuck is going on with this dude? And yeah. But I think that's what it is. It starts at the top. Like Halliburton has looked injured all season. And it's only been like the last week or two where you're like, oh, they're, and then it's a game like today. You're like, what the fuck is up with this team? They're horrible. And so I feel like it sort of starts at the top with Halliburton, with Turner, with Siakam. The fit there was fine at times last year, and then it just hasn't been. So, this is a team that made the Eastern Conference Finals, and they just haven't clicked. They're missing their role players. Anyway, got some good ones from Jez Oz. Here we go. Hey, Jim Bob, how's the post-Good Things recovery? It's taken a while, I'll tell you. Before I give you my I'd like to know, my 15-year-old went on Friday, 15-year-old daughter, and I told her to check out 311. She said no, because she's not a 40-year-old man. That's a fucking brutal shot. But she ended up there and absolutely loved them. Hey, there you go. I only know the song You Smash on the pod, but NBA Straya has another 311 nerd. Lol. How good is that? NBA Straya out here just converting people to the religion of 311. Amazing. Anyway, a couple of no's from Jez Oz. The Hawks traded the wrong dude. They should have kept DeJounte and traded Trey. Oh, actually, I don't mind this. The problem is, I feel like the offensive upside of Trae Young is like this very strange resource where you're like, oh, we know what he can do. But you see it so very fucking rarely that you just like, but I don't want to trade him away and then watch him just go absolutely spare and be like unreal. And it feels like if you paired DeJounte and Dyson in the same backcourt, there's probably just not enough shooting there, I guess. But I feel like you might have gotten a bigger return for Trey. But at the same time, like, because it feels like DeJounte Murray, Dyson Daniels straight up right now. Who fucking says no? Like, it's like Atlanta's like, fucking, we're not trading him. Come on. And they got all the other shit out of it. So I think they made the right decision. Because I think you've got Trae Young as the face of that franchise. He's never won shit, but at the same time, he did get into an Eastern Conference Finals, scared the hell out of the Knicks. They've got this awesome game coming up this week where he's going into Madison Square Garden. It's going to be unreal. Can't wait for this sort of stuff, right? And then it just sort of feels like if he can get right and get put in the right positions to succeed, it feels like he and Dyson just could be absolutely awesome with each other. It's kind of my read on it. Because like the threat of Trey's shooting is what makes Dyson's game work and flourish, so he can concentrate on defense, not have to push so hard on offense. And it's like Trae Young's gravity opens up for a bunch of other dudes. The problem is Trae Young's been pretty shit this year, so that's might be a bit of a worry. We shouldn't be surprised that Dyson Daniels is leading this league in steals. He is from Bendigo. Yeah, nah. You know what I'm going to say there? That's our fucking Shelbyville. Being from Ballarat, Bendigo is 100% Shelbyville to me. So it's like that's where you go to marry your cousins and just be weird and eat, what was it, beets. Oh, God. The classic. Yeah, Bendigo, brutal. Giannis is a dirty player. Yeah, nah. He does similar shit to Grayson Allen, but no one really talks about it. BT Dubs, I'm all for it. Yeah, nah. Happy Monday, boss. Oh, thanks, Jez. Giannis is sneaky dirty, and he gets nowhere near the shit that he probably should because he's very charismatic and engaging, even with his weird voice. Whereas Grayson Allen just has the world's, again, most punchable face. Just exceedingly punchable. You look at Grayson Allen and go, I just want to hit him in the head a bunch of times. He looks like a fucking movie villain. Like the kid whose fucking rich dad just ruins everyone's lives and shit, and he's like the fucking bully at school or whatever. That's Grayson Allen. Giannis is this incredible story of like, you know, Greek kid on the street selling stuff to make money for food, and then just the dream comes true as an incredible basketball player, MVP, champion, and also does weird undercutty shit stuff all the time, and no one brings it up. That's a good call. It's a great shout, Jez. Appreciate that. Jokic, did he just get a bit of a stranglehold on the MVP? Yeah, nah. Yeah, I reckon he did. It's still December, but still, you look at this team and go, fucking hell, how are they even doing this? And the answer is Jokic. 104 points in a weekend, not bad. Unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
The NBA should have more island games, not less. Like, we've got one game tomorrow, and you know that I'm going to watch the fucking shit out of Knicks Raptors. It's going to be awesome. And I know because they've got the NBA Cup this week, they don't want to overshadow stuff for your Wednesday, Thursday games. And sometimes they do try the 2 games on one day sort of thing on your Thursday nights, stuff like that is like these big showcases. But how they had 12 games today, going up an entire slate of NFL football, and then going, God, we'll have one game on a Monday. It's just fucking bizarre. Why not put all 12 of those on the Saturday and switch it around? Like, it's like, just go hammer and tongs on the Saturday. It's like you're going up against the end of college football. You got these weird couple of weeks where like they are still getting through their championship rounds and into their bowl games and shit like that. Just have a crack. I hate that the NBA is just so cowardly and just so weird with their scheduling. Again, it's just like, are they being run by the AFLs? Oh, we don't want to have Thursday footy. It's weird. It's bizarre. Anyway, Outback Takehouse. Where is it? Where's the button, Jim? Oh, geez, there it is. It's Monday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh, yeah. Over the weekend, tell you what, it got a bit bloody Lord of the Flies out there in the Squid's birthday. Ever seen a gaggle of 6-year-olds track down and kill a roo with their bare hands? I have. But good news for you is it means we've got tenderized roo steaks only at Outback. Goes great with the Flame Grilled Take. And today's Flame Grilled Take is... we're going to look back at the 2020s and go, Nikola Jokic should have won at least 8 MVPs and 4 titles at the very least. And we completely fucked up the Embiid vibes. Only at Outback. 8 MVPs might be a bit much. But it feels like he's going to get 4. And then you sort of go, he's at his apex. And like, there's so many people going, the Nuggets have failed him. And they kind of have. They got fucked by injuries to Jamal Murray and stuff for a couple of years that fucked them in the playoffs. They have one clean bill of health. They fucking stomp everybody, win the title. And when they've gone and rebuilt this roster, and Calvin Booth thinking he's fucking smarter than everybody, and he's completely cooked it. So we don't need veterans in them. When they've gotten veterans, they've been shit ones. It has done a disservice to Jokic to a really large degree. To this point where you go, if there was a team that Boston would be afraid of this year, it was probably like last year's Minnesota that beat Denver. But because Denver have been so neutered over the last couple of years and denuded of talent, and they're like, we'll give Jamal Murray a max contract. It's like, the dude can't fucking run. He barely functions. And he like, oh, but the upside is there. The point is, you have to trade Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr. at some point. And MPJ, God bless his cotton socks. It's like, there is a man who can get you 22 points and 7 rebounds without fail and somehow still have like so little impact on a game. It's ridiculous. But I don't know, this Nuggets team, it feels like they are absolutely incredible. And I feel like Jokic was 100% within his right to go, what the fuck is going on here fucking? This is bullshit. Because they've completely cooked it for him and around him. Because that's the dude who should have like 5 MVPs in his career. He's going to have like at least 4 probably after this one. Well, he's going to have 4 after this year, but just a bit fucked, mate. Just a bit fucked. All right, quick break, back with Australian Player Watch right after Hammer.
This is Shane Heal, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, big weekend for the Aussies. Box Hill, Benny. Ben Simmons took 0 shots against Milwaukee in that loss. He played 18 minutes and took 0 shots. Yeah, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 2 fouls, 2 turnovers. Great game. Josh Giddey in the loss to Indy. He had a 10-5-6 with a steal. He shot 5 of 13 from the floor and 0 of 6 from downtown. It wasn't a great one. Did not cover himself in glory. And then the loss to Philly today, 9.7 rebounds, 11 assists, was really good, I thought, at times. 2 steals and a block. He shot 4 of 10, 1 of 4 from deep. And just felt like he was a little bit pushed aside. You're like, dude, just let him cook. Anyway, Josh Green, big weekend for him, and that loss to Cleveland. He, in the 116-102 loss, he had 16 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, a block, and 2 steals. Shot the piss out as well, 6 of 13 from the floor, 3 of 7 from deep. Love that. And then the win over Indy today, 10 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and a block, and 2 steals. Shot 3 of 4 from the floor and 4 of 7 on his free throws. So, not bad. Good size. Josh Green. Asked to do a little bit more scoring in the last, few weeks with Miles Bridges being out, LaMelo being out. So it's like he and Spindles Miller all of a sudden. Dyson Daniels, big weekend for him as well. The win over the Lakers. He played 36 minutes. He had 11 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists to go with 4 steals from the steals leader. 5 of 8 from the floor, 1 of 2 from downtown. And then the loss to Denver today. He was still pretty bloody good. 18 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, a block, and 5 more steals. Yeesh. 7 of 15 from the floor, 2 of 5 from deep. Crushing. Wait for it. It's Johnny Furphy, old Tins, in the win over Chicago. He played 10 minutes. He had 5 points, went 2 of 2 from the floor, 1 of 1 from deep, and 2 rebounds. Not bad, 5 and 2. And then he lost to Charlotte today. He played 9 minutes. He went 0 of 1 from the floor. But he did hit his 2 free throws. He had 2 points, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Outside of that, it was not a great weekend for the Aussies because Jingle and Joe Ingles still out injured. Paddy Thrills did not play coach's decision. Jock Landale and Jack McVeigh both out and not playing for the Rockets. Jock hasn't played since November 27. McVeigh hasn't played since November 23. Luke Travers actually did get out there for 2 minutes against Miami today for the Cavs, but didn't actually, for the Cavs, yeah, but didn't trouble the scorers. So that was a bit of a bummer, I guess. And the other one, the Great Barrier Reef, do-up, bop, bop, do-up, shib-a-dop, bop, did not play today against the Lakers because he's got a sore back, probably from carrying the bloody Blazers. But in 25 minutes in that loss to Utah, he had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 5 shooting, and 2 or 3 from downtown. So not bad from Duop. Obviously, no update on Exum as well with his broken wrist. Alex Dukas hasn't played for the Thunders for a little bit. And Aussie Matty T is out for a bit longer with a pretty severely sprained ankle, apparently. So, bit of a rough one. But there you go. That's Australian Player Watch. Let us do a bit of an Andrew Gaze Great Mumber Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence then.
Andrew Gay's Great Mumba.
Outstanding achievement in the field of excellence. I got 2 for you. So Luka has now gone past Wilt Chamberlain, pretty good, and James Harden on the all-time list for triple doubles. He's 7th all-time, which is pretty cool. That was his 79th. So that 30, 13, 11 was very, very cool. That was his 2nd straight triple-double as well. The Mavs just keep winning. The thing is, the bloke ahead of him, so he's got 79 triple-doubles. Jason Kidd, you might know him as the Dallas Mavericks coach. That's right, is next on the list at 107. So that's pretty cool. And the other one, all-time outstanding achievement in the world in the field of excellence, Chris Paul, the point god himself, had 10 assists today. So all-time assist leader number 2 behind the inestimable John Stockton. So that's pretty good. I mean, it's very, he goes past, what was it, Jason Kidd, I think? Yeah, so that was pretty cool. John Stockton, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, LeBron James. Yeah, so amazingly, Stockton's at 15,806. That is insane. Chris Paul's been playing for a million years, and he's still 3,000 behind. Like, it's just 3,700 behind. That's just stupid, isn't it? It's absolutely brutal. Anyway, to be 2nd all-time, though, Chris Paul is incredible. LeBron being 4th all-time is still also absurd, so great job there. All right, let's do it. Should we do a Patty Mills Game Day, Baller Game Day Twitter check-in? I think we should. And then we'll do the game preview for tomorrow because there's only bloody one. All right, Patty Mills Game Day, Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's go, Patty. Oh, there's a Giddy update. Ah, Giddy with a bunch of folks there. That's pretty nice. Just a nice picture of him with some of his mates. Very cool. Happy days there. Let's see if Patty has actually done anything in terms of updates. Nope. Hopefully everything's okay with him. Just not too much there in Utah. Anyway, let's do some game previews for, well, a game preview for tomorrow. Game preview. Thanks, Invert and Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Ah, good. I'm slowly getting back to human level. My cold and flu tablets have kicked in pretty nicely, and I don't feel quite as nasally and just gummed up. But we only have the one game tomorrow. We've got the Knicks at the Raptors. And so you sort of look at this and go, well, the Knicks should smash them, Jim. It's like, yeah, they should. But the Knicks, on the road, they're 6-6. You know? And the Raptors of late, the Raptors are 6-6 at home. The Raptors, remember, like the almost historically horrible on the road team. They were 1-11 now, I think. They started 0-10. So the Raps were pretty good in that Mavs game. And they also had a pretty half-decent showing when they beat the Pacers and the Heat at home. So this is a pretty long homestand. They did, however, get their heads kicked in by the Thunder in the middle of all that. And I guess the tricky part is you look at this Knicks team and go, right, well, where are their strengths? You got RJ Barrett, Scoob, etc., etc., etc. there for the Raps. It feels like the Knicks can match up pretty bloody nicely with them between Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. You know there's going to be a lot of revenge in the air with OG and co. But at the same time, you've got RJ Barrett going up against his old team. So with Scotty Barnes on an absolute heater at this point, Teenage Mutant Jakob Poeltl in the middle, RJ playing pretty bloody well, Grady Dick still shooting the piss out of it. It's a 5.5 point line. And I kind of want to go the Raptors because I feel like they can take the fight to this Knicks team that has, as I keep sort of saying, like 6 dudes and just lost to the Pistons on the weekend, right? Cade Cunningham did play absolutely fantastically. It was like Malik Beasley shooting fire out of his ass, though, that sort of won them that game. And they didn't have Cat. So, I guess the question is, Karl Anthony Towns dealing with right knee tendonitis. He's questionable for Monday's matchup. If Cat goes, I think the Knicks win. No Cat, we're going the Raps. It's a pretty simple one. I think there'll be just so much sort of going on both sides. Not being able to slow down Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and a couple of the other Raptors bigs. Like, there's a sneaky amount of size with Scotty out there, with RJ out there, with Grady Dick. And so I think we'll go the Raps plus 5.5 if there's no Cat. If there is Cat, I'm leaning much more towards the Knickerbockers. So I guess you better keep an eye out for tomorrow's drop-off pick video, which will be pretty short. And tomorrow's show will be pretty short as well, because that's it for today's show. But we will, of course, be back tomorrow to wrap up the game for you. The Tuesday shows are always very, very short as well. So what we'll do on tomorrow's show is wrap up that game and then sort of go pretty hammer and tongs on the NBA Cup look forward. And we might do a rehash of the quarter season awards, or maybe even take the power rankings. I don't know if I'll be in the office tomorrow, though, just because I've been, so fucking sneezy and coldy today. So I don't want to get anyone else sick, just trying to be mindful. So either way, we'll do some fun stuff on tomorrow's show. Should be a quick one either way. Should be good. And then we'll get the NBA Cup for the rest of the week. Keep an eye out for all of that gear. That's going to be fun as hell, because it's the knockout stages, the quarterfinals. Can't wait for that. So make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey IG, YouTube, TikTok, all the good stuff right there. Get around NFL Straya as well. Gaz and I will be chopping up a crazy week in the NFL. Oh, Jesus. Wrapping up a crazy week in the NFL, he says. And get around all the other shows. The AFL Today Show, AFLW Today Show, the Cricket Today podcast. How good was that test match in Adelaide? 2.5 bloody days. Chaos. What else? Football Today podcast. Hold all tickets for your GGs. All the fun stuff. Big thanks always goes to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out House Hats as well as Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated Goldmines, Ramshack Alami, Iowa Section, Green, and Dozers. They're behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all at Bandcamp, Triple J and Earth, Facey, Apple Music, Spotify. However you listen to your tunes, support Australian bands. That's what we do here on NBA Straya. We also support festivals that have corn. I'll tell you what, good things. I could just do more of a good things review tomorrow, but had a great time. Like, their setup was awesome. I love their approach of, we're just going to have all the fucking food trucks, like all of them. Saw Kerry King, saw Billy Corgan with an acoustic guitar. That was fucking weird. Didn't see any Killing Heidi. Oh no, I missed him. Hey, Electric Callboy. Who likes that band? That is just, hello, we are German. We're going to play some metal techno, yeah? And you're like, what the fuck is happening? And it's just like chaos. Anyway. That's not fucking awesome. All right. That'll do us. We'll catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And let us know.